So you've been watching my videos. Let's go and talk about the tennis game. The tennis game is so basic and yet very complicated if you don't watch every movement and learn where to position your dog. To position the dog is so important. It's the same scenario as if you're out picking up with your dog. You want your dog just out in front of you. Now when you don't do that and you bang it out to the side, this is what happens. You have to go out and help the dog, else the dog's going to be out there hunting for 20 minutes in this, even this short grass, looking for a tennis ball. And especially if you lose the mark as well. So this video will help you.
All went wrong.
Yeah, terribly wrong.
Yeah, not a problem, because what you did is positioning again. Look where the dog is. If I'm here, this is where I want to be, and I say to the dog, get out. There, look. And I teach the dog to go in that straight line.
Teaching your dog to run down the line of the racket is really important.
Between me and the dog.
I suppose I give it fuck as
Yeah,
well.
and it went that way, and
Yeah.
the dog was looking all over the place.
Yeah.
Success breeds success. Take it off the dog. Well done.
Good boy.
So, for instance, from this position, just stand back slightly.
Yep.
Watch the dog. Get out. There, look. So the dog knows the straight line it's going in, it gets to retrieve. Practice that. That's far better. Go a bit further out with the dog.
Okay, good boy.
That's it. Okay, that's it. Call the dog to you.
Yeah.
That's enough. Sit the dog there, then you come back behind the dog. So the straight line is behind. That's it. Well, that's it. So the dog's looking at you.
Yeah.
Give the verbal cue, and then straight line, straight out.
Get out.
There you go. And you can do it further and further and further, and the dog is learning to run that straight line.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's getting that dog to run down that line. Your body position plays a massive part, but where you position the dog is important. So if the dog just sits up, you move into the position to help the dog. And then the dog is learning, like pointing a gun out in that direction. That's where the shot will be. Run down the line of the barrel. Run down the line of the racket. There's a reason we do this. It's to make it easy for the dog. Your movement, smashing it to the side when the dog's running out in a straight line, creates a problem. You get that dog to run down that line. That line should be straight out and straight back, and that shows you how to condition the dog with the racket and the game play. But now look at the dog hunting the field out, because he hit it further, and now the dog has gone into hunting mode. We don't want that with these young dogs. We want them straight to the fall and straight back. We're teaching marking ability, and if we let the dog do this too much, then the dog's wearing itself out. It's learning to hunt. We don't want it learning to hunt at this stage, because we know the dog will hunt. We can do this in a minute, but now look, it's all getting messy. The best thing you can do is go out there and help the dog. It's as simple as that. And then we'll show you how not to put yourself in that position by using the environment around you.
And then lose the mark and have to get out there.
Get out.
And at the point the dog's struggling like that, I would go out and help the dog, because the dog's burning energy, look, rather than listening to what you want him to do.
So at this point, I simplify the situation. Simple as that.
One of the things people don't think about is the wind. Now, if we stand out here, look, it helps a young dog hell of a lot. So we got the wind hitting us in this direction.
Yeah.
So that would be the best way, and it's swirling a bit, look. See, it's swirling, it's coming this way now, look.
Yeah.
So it's swirling, it's now hitting us at the back. It's actually swirling around this corner. So you need to get out in the field a little bit. If you get out in the field where the tree is, for instance, look, and you say, okay, I want to make it easy and have success with my young dog. And success breeds success, see? So if you put your dog out here and it loses the mark, you cause yourself a problem, because now you're like, where is it? Where is it? Unless you bang a stick into the ground and you aim for the stick. But if we use the tree behind us as a marker for playing that game, and you can move it further and further back, because you line up the tree, look, sit the dog there and aim the racket and the ball towards the tree, look.
Yeah.
Come on then. This is important. You get this right, you'll get your dog looking at you every time for the game when you're carrying a gun. This is just not a game. This is a stage that's really important. Now the first one's got to be reasonably close because you're showing the dog which direction you want it to go.
Get out.
There you go. So you know when you've banged it out, it went to the left of the tree.
Yeah.
So when you knock it out, you think to yourself, right, when I hit it hard this time. Get out. Right, so that's level with the tree, look. So it's easy for you to remember where it is.
Yeah.
But it gives the dog something to go for, because you should be able to hit the back edge with that. From there, you should just about to hit the back edge. Send the dog.
Get out.
There you go. So success breeds success. You've had 3 in a row, straight out, straight back. If you're banging it out and the dog's putting his head down and hunting, you're teaching it to hunt before you're teaching it to mark. So pass the racket. A bird comes over. Get out. Out it goes. Doesn't matter. It went to the right. Look. Watch what the dog does. It's now got to hold that area and learn to hold that area. But you know where it is. There you go. Because the dog is in the position to make it easier for the dog.
Yeah.
Rather than straight out into there. Look, with a back wind. You've got a back wind there. Look, hitting you on the back of the head.
Yeah.
It's making it difficult for a young dog. So from that position there even, get out, look, straight out. Now you could go further back because I know I could hit that tree or hit that edge. So I could go further back and always lob it sort of 10 foot from that edge.
Yeah.
Now your dog's getting success doing that and learning from it. So what is the dog going by? It's going by the verbal cue.
Yeah.
And it's going by the ping off the racket, watch.
And it's also looking visually in the direction.
The ping. The ping is like a shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But you don't want the dog to go in a minute until it's told.
No.
So if you don't use the verbal cue and the dog goes, it's getting away with it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to train it not to.
Come here.
It's knackered, look.
Yeah, come here.
Bring the dog in.
Oi, come here.
Just go to the dog and get it. See what you... No problem. Young dog.
Oi.
Dog thought, oh, am I going to be in trouble? That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Right, we'll give the dog a mental break for a second. So that's why it's important. And so from this position here, if you think about it, it's like pointing a gun.
Yep.
It's like pointing a gun out there. And people say, oh, you don't need a racket. You only need a ball on a piece of string. Hang on, where the friggin' hell's that gone?
Yeah.
And you're teaching the dog to hunt the whole field out. With this, when that goes, the movement of that makes that dog look in that direction already, look.
Yeah.
Right, the dog is looking in that direction already. You're teaching the dog to look in that direction. So the racket is so important because you can't go out with a gun all the time.
No.
Right? But what we want the dog to do, we want the dog to understand that every time something goes out from this body position, look at my body position, where am I going to be with a gun? Same body position. So you're teaching the line that you want the dog to look down when you fire that gun. Yeah. So if I put my body position here, the dog looks at my body position and the racket and then goes in that direction because the dog learns to visually watch you. If every now and again you throw it like this or you throw it like that, the dog's not reading because the dog's reading your movement, but it's missing your movement because 1 minute it'll go that way, next minute it'll go that way. If you send it down that magic line, most of the time, get out, straight down that line, look. And you can practice for the tree then, can't you?
Yeah.
As in straight line.
Oi!
No problem at all. No problem at all. Take it off him. That's it.
Okay.
Right, give him a break for a minute, he's blowing.
So at that point, it's a fine example to stop the game because the dog now is getting bored. The dog is starting to hold on to it, move away rather than coming back. And that's because it's a young dog. And if you put too much emphasis on repetition with a young dog, you'll bore it, and then things like that will start creeping in. You see now we corrected the dog with the long line and got the dog coming in with a long line by using a few tugs with a long line. You could do that situation if you had a dog not coming back with a tennis ball. Exactly the same situation. You never punish the dog with something in its mouth. But this is a young dog and I wouldn't make too much of it. So what I would do now is I would go away and change to a different discipline. So I might go hunting. I might do the sit, the stay and recall. I might just mix it up a little bit so the dog's not getting bored, because dogs are like children. If you do it for a short period of time, they love it. If you carry on doing it, sometimes they want to play longer. If they want to play longer, you play longer. And people ask me that question, how many retrieves should I give my dog? Each dog is different. And the books say, you know, you've got to throw out 5, or you've got to throw out 6 retrieves and pick 5 of them yourself. I disagree. If you've got the keenness and you've got the gameplay and the dog wants to play the game, carry on playing the game. But don't overdo it. If you overdo it, monotonous steps in and it goes, I'm not really doing that. So why are these videos on Patreon? These videos are on Patreon for people to learn. Why have I put them over to YouTube? I put them over to YouTube because this client isn't on Patreon, and I said to him, you won't be able to see the videos. What I'll do is I'll put them on YouTube for you. So they're on YouTube for that reason. But if you want to see how to train a dog in a simple format, without confusing your dog, without overpowering your dog, and without boring the shit out your dog, what do you want? A couch potato robot? Or do you want a quality dog that works in the field, that listens to you and loves the game? Come over to Patreon and see Chris Upton. Chris Upton teaches people how to train a dog properly using simple methods that are proven and they work. 95% gameplay and 5% discipline. The skill is knowing when to give the discipline. If people aren't teaching you how to give the discipline and showing you when to use discipline, how can you train your dog? It's as simple as that.